Hi sir, I am Ramachandran. My register number is 21BCA0076. Here I am to explain about our project bus ticket reservation. In this project, I have taken some member function. Other member functions are taken by my friends. Let me see. First of all, I have include the IO stream and then some library functions. Next, using namespace std, then I was declare a p as static and class name a, and this bus number, driver, arrival, depart from, to, seat, int age, date, month, year. These data members are declared in privately in array. And void install, void allotment, void empty, void show, void avail, void position. These all are declared in public. In this program, we have used array of object function. That only bus 10. Next, void b line was explained by my friend Yuvraj. Next, we see void a install member function. In this void is the return type and a is the class name and scope reservation of our operator, and then member function install. In this we have installed, in this we have input the bus number, driver, arrival, depart, from, to. We can see the output from run the code. This you can see. Enter 1, enter the button and enter the bus number, give any number 1 2 3 4, enter, and then enter driver's name. I enter my name and arrival time I give 5, departure I give 6, from I'll give card body, and to Vellore, see in this the bus with number 1 2 3 4 is installed. This is a easy method to install the bus details. Thank you.
Hello sir, I am Shankar, 21BCA0067. I am going to explain about the topic of the project that we created. We created the project for bus reservation system, which will actually do the reservation for the passengers after installing the buses with the driver names. And I am going to explain about the allotment function, which will actually reserve the tickets for the passengers. We have defined the function outside the class, so we have used the scope resolution operator. Initially we have declared one variable called seat, which will store the seat number while the user enter. We also declared that the character array in 2 variable for type character, which will actually used to get the number of that seat number of that passenger stickers. And we have declared 3 variables for to get the actual date of that present date, z1, z2, z3. Time t now is a predefined function that we used with the help of hash include time.th library function, which will actually return the today's date, month. This LTM TM day will actually return the day, and that this will actually return the month. And z3 equal to 1900 plus LTM will be the pointer variable stores TM here, which will actually return the actual year of what we are living. The string t name was used to get that actual to get the passenger's name and to store and to store that name to display while after finishing the reservation. If p equals 0, this condition, if p is the incrementing variable for that since we have created array of object, p is only used to increment that object of one by one of array. So initially we have declared that static int p equal to 0. If the user enters user creates any buses with the numbers or driver's name, initially the p will get incremented by 1. And so this loop will tell that if p equals 0, there is no bus installed, and it will show the message that there is no buses available to book tickets. Enter or press 1. Since we have used a switch case, which will if the user enters 1, it will actually get into the function of install, which will actually install the buses for the book tickets. And if the p was greater than 2, this else part will tell that if p greater than 2, it will do that following operations. It was top has to be declared here to use the go to statement. While the user enters any wrong informations regarding bus numbers or any violations, it will actually break that statement, and it will again ask the users to enter these operations or do these operations. First of all, it will ask the users to enter the bus number. Since we have created the buses with bus numbers and drivers name, bus numbers is mandatory to select the preferred bus. So we have asked the user to enter the bus number, and it will stored in the number variable. And we have declared on variable n, which will actually used for the for looping statement for incrementing the value of p. We have used that n variable. The for loop will tell that n equals 0, unless this for loop will actually tell that from the starting index of the array of object up to what m up to how many times the buses has to be declared, that many times this loop has to be run. Up to that many times this loop has to be run, so that only it will first of all it will run with that bus of object with 0, and later it will be get incremented until it will do up to how many objects, how many buses that we create. And this strcmp of bus.n, this will that this if loop will check that if the users enters any wrong number in the sense that number should not be matchable with that created that number will not be matchable with the created bus number, then it will actually break the loop, and it will again do the operation. Since we have to enter the number which will actually be given by the users while creating a bus itself. If the users enters any other number, it will actually break the loops. And again next we are going to see that while loop, while n less than or equal to loop means the n should be here we have used that n statement. If the n less than or equal to p means the p is incrementing variable, how many buses that we created. If it is less than the n should be less than p, so that only we have to be able to reserve the ticket for the passengers. See out, it is asking the users to enter the seat number, and that has to be stored in the seat variable. If seat, since we have we created only 32 seats for the one bus, and if we need also we will able to create more than 32, but for us we only created 32 seats for one bus. And if the users enters the seat number greater than 32, it will actually show an error message to the users that there are only 32 seats available in this bus. and if the users enters the seat number which is less than 32, it will go to the else part and it will do that operations. If the strcmp, it will this is a predefined function which will actually compare that two variable. It will actually compare the two variable. If str, it will actually compare that the entered seat number and the which is not equal to empty. Since we have declared that unbooked or unreserved seats with the string empty, with the string empty, if the entered bus number should be equal with the empty to book the tickets. If any users has already booked the tickets in that seat, it will actually show the error message that the seat number is already reserved. The user has to choose another seat for the reservation. And if it is not true, and if the entered seat number is equal to empty, it will do the following operation. First, it asks the user to enter the date of travel. The date has to be entered only in the integer format, not in that character or anything. Since we have to compare that entered date with the predefined function of month, so we have asked the users to enter the date of travel and in integer format only. Then that will be stored in the bus of that means bus of end or date, bus of that object that is incremented 1, 2 or 3. Then dot date is a variable which is created in the private section of the class, which will create in the private section of the class. And the year of travel, if the users and also the user is asked to enter the year of travel, and that has to be stored in the year variable. And if the Z2 greater than bus of end or 10 month, this means that Z2 will actually store today's date, the today's month. Z2 will actually store today's month, and Z3 will actually store actually having the value of present year. And so this loop is checking that the entered month is great. If the entered year is equal to the present year, if the entered year is present year, then the actual month should be, then the present month should be greater than the entered month. If there is any violation in it will show an error message to the user that they enter correct date, and it will again go to top and asking the users to enter the bus number again. And this loop is checking that if bus of n dot month greater than, since we have only 12 month, if the users enters the year date of month, date of travel of month which is greater than 12, it has to show an error message that it should actually enter correct date, and it will again go to top. Now that the top has been used for this go to statement only. And P of bus of n dot greater than, since we have only the maximum of 31 days only, if the user enters the date greater than 31, it has to greater than 31, it has to show the error message to the user. And also it has to check that if the user enters any negative value or 0, then also it should pop up the error message of enter correct date, and it will again go to shop. And if the users enter the actual he enters the year which is actually less than the present year, this loop is checking that the entered year is not less than the actual year. This is not possible. In any case, we could not able to book tickets for the days or months which will actually gone. So this is also an error. This will also show an error message. Enter correct date, go to top, and this function will also change if that also checks that if the entered month is equal to the present month, it will actually the entered date should be actually greater than the entered date should be actually greater than the present date. this is if the entered date is less than the present date. In this case also it is not possible to do book tickets for the days which is actually gone. So it has to show an error message, and it actually do the following operations again, above operations again. And if it checks all the conditions, and if it's true, it will come to the statement, and it asks the user to enter passenger name, and that has to be passenger's name has to be stored in the bus of n dot seat. This bus actually stored in that seat of what position it was. If that and this passenger's name has to be replaced with that empty string that we created while we are creating the bus itself. If the user enters bus, if the seat was reserved for the passenger, instead of empty, the seat number has to be filled with the passengers. It is actually filled with the passenger's name. And T name is since we have already told, I have already told, T name is a character variable which is used to store the entered passenger's name, and it will actually be very useful to print the message further is a successful reservation for the passenger. And again we are asking to enter the passenger's age, and this has to be stored in the age variable that we created and this has to be stored in the age variable that we created. The C variable is used if the users does all the things, the C will be initialized, C will be equal to 0. Since we have declared the C with 1, if C equals 0, it confirms that the user has entered some name and age and did the reservation. This C will actually help to find out whether the user is reserved user does the reservation or not, and this has to be used to print that statement of successful registration. And this I already explained. The seat number, if the users enter the wrong seat number, it is wrong, or the seat number which is actually filled or with some string, it will show an error message, this is already reserved. And again we are searching, it is checking that if n greater than p, if the users enters the number which is actually greater than or which is actually greater than the buses we created, it will show an error message. Buses created, it will show an error message that the bus number that you entered was wrong, please enter correct bus number. And again also the top the go to statement has to be used, and again go to statement has to be used, and again it will go to top and do the following operations for how many times the users has enters the wrong value. And if C equals 0, since I have already told this, the C is used to print, C is already used to find whether the user is reserved or not. And if C equals 0 means it means that the user already the user has reserved for some passengers, and we are displaying the message that the ticket was reserved for the passenger. Since we have stored the passenger's name in the T name character array, and that has to be printed, and along with that the seat number has to be printed. While seeing this, the user confirmed that the ticket was reserved, the ticket was reserved. And that's all about that allotment function, which will do the reservation part. And next we will see that output of the reservation function, allotment function, which will actually reserve the passengers. First we are going to create bus numbers with bus number, buses with bus number and driver name, and we are entering the necessary details for creating a bus. and this is this message will confirm that the bus number was created and installed with the bus number 02. 02 is the bus number that we have created, and we are going to reserve that reserve the ticket for the passengers in the bus number 2. And for to book the tickets for reservation, we have to book the reservation for the tickets, we have used to actually want to press 2, which will actually do the reservation part. We have used a menu driven operator. It is asking to enter the bus number. We are entering the same bus number of what we created, and it actually asking the user to enter the seat number. I am entering 33. It will actually showing the error message that there are only 32 seats available in the bus, and again it will asking the user to enter the correct seat number. Again I am entering 21, and it is asking the user to enter the date of travel. I am entering that 21. Then if the users or unknowingly enters any wrong year, it will actually show an error message to enter the correct date. Since the user has entered 2021, which is already passed, now the present year is 2022, so it is asking the user to enter the correct date. Now if then again the same process has to be repeated to book the tickets. I am going to enter the same bus number for again, and I am also entering the seat number, and I entering the date of travel, which is actually above or greater than the present date, and I am going to do the 30 12 now it is not showing any error message, since the date that we have entered was correct, which will correct in the sense it will greater than the present date. If we enter any wrong date or before the present date, it will show an error message. Now it is asking the user to enter the now it is asking the user to enter the name and also the age. Now it is showing that the confirmation message that the ticket was reserved for the passenger Shankar. It is actually showing the passenger's name with seat number 20, and the ticket was reserved for the passenger Shankar with seat number 20. This will confirm the user that they are reserved, that the ticket was reserved for the bus number. With that this confirm message will also showing that the seat number also. And next will be continued by Yuvraj, and he will explain about the show functions of the availability of buses.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Yuvraj, and my topic is online bus ticket reservation system. Now I will explain a member function, show, return type void, class name is scope resolution operator, show member function. Int n, I have created a variable n, char number array name with number. If p equal to 0, p is nothing but the number of bus installed. If it is equal to 0, it will shows that there are no buses available to show. The else part, cout enter bus number. We have to enter the bus number in number. For n equal to 0, n less than or equal to p, n plus plus. If n equal to 0, n less than or equal to p, the number of bus is let us assume that the number of bus installed is 1. If 0 is less than or equal to 1, so it's get into the loop. If str compare bus n dot bus n number equal to 0, if the number of bus installed is equal to 0, it breaks here, while n is less than or equal to p. If it satisfies the following condition, v line star is nothing but, I will show you, sir. The loop enters and executes 80 times. I have declared it here. Okay, cout we have to get the bus number, driver name, arrival time, departure time, from address, true, everything. Bus 0 dot position n, int a equal to 1. For int I equal to 0, I less than 8, I plus plus. For int j equal to 0, j less than 4, j plus plus, a plus plus. If str compare bus n dot seat ij is not equal to empty, is not equal to 0, then it displays the seat number and it is reserved for whom we reserved it. Then it breaks here. If n is greater than p, if the number of bus installed is lesser than the n, then it displays a statement like enter correct bus number, so that it tells that try to enter the correct bus number which are already installed. Okay, let me show you the output. Okay, first let us install a bus. Bus number 123, driver name, arrival time 10, departure time 12, from Kaipadi. To Salem. Okay, a statement is displayed here like the bus with number 123 is installed. So we have installed a bus with the bus number 123. Okay, let us reserve that. Treat seat, we'll choose 2 as a choice. Okay, we have to enter the same bus number 123. Seat number, our assumption is 12. Date 19, month maybe next month, year this year, passenger name, passenger age. The ticket was reserved for the passenger Prema with seat number 12. The entered passenger name and entered seat number is displayed here. So let us choose the option 3. Enter bus number. If we enter the correct bus number, then it executes. So we will try to enter the wrong bus number. Actually the bus number is 123. We are going to enter 222. A message was displayed as enter correct bus number. Okay, let us again choose the third option. Bus number 123. There are 31 seats left, excluding Prema in the seat number 12. Okay, thank you, sir.
I am Kailash. I am here to explain about our project. Our project topic name is bus ticket reservation system. In that I will explain 2 topics about available member function and as well as main function. In that in this program we use void a scope resolution operator and that member function name. Here a is a class. Here we used class name as well as member function name to call. In that below we used if p greater than 0, then that below loop will be execute. P, the variable p store all the details of our bus. The loop is n equal to 0, n less than p, n plus plus. It's increment every time. It depends upon the bus detail what we entering. Next, if we didn't enter any bus details in that p variable, if we didn't enter any bus detail, means it will show first install the bus with bus number. Let me show that output. 1, we entering that bus detail. First bus number 9. 1. The output is not. One here. Bus number 10. Driver name Ram. Time, arrival time 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. from Velu to enter the city name Chennai. Enter the city name Chennai, and see in the variable P these details are stored. Now we call our member function available. Our case is 4 and it's showing bus number 10. The bus with what we entered is available, like that. It's showing. If we, that loop will run n plus plus, so if we enter 2 or 1 or more bus detail means it will show all the bus details what we entered. If we exit in this loop and wait, if in p variable there is no bus details means, if we asking for our bus available means, it will show first install the bus with bus number, then we come to know if we entered any bus detail in the p variable means it will show if p greater than equal to if p greater than 0. This is that void member function details what we entered. And next come to the main program. In main program choices are there. First, add bus with details, reservation, show available seat in bus. All this out are displaying with switch case. In switch case we calling each bus details with member function name, install, allowment, show available. And in case 5 we using exit to exit in that loop. After that return 0. Thank you.